Hi students, this is a key video about the more important long nerve, that is your median nerve of upper limb. So first we will start median nerve of upper limb. If it is asked as an essay, first you should start with which cord. It arises from which cord of brachial plexus. Median nerve arises from both medial cord of the brachial plexus as well as from the lateral cord of brachial plexus. So this is point number 1, and then point number 2, you have to talk about the nerve is present in the axilla initially. So axilla, what is the relationship? So the two roots they join and then they form above the axillary artery. Then third, it enters into the arm. So in the arm it has an important relation. In the arm it doesn't give any branches, but what happens, there is an artery in the arm, that is your brachial artery. This median nerve, initially it was present in the lateral aspect, so it comes towards the medial aspect, it crosses. So from lateral to medial side it comes. So this is a very important relation. Students should not forget to write about that. So lateral to medial side crossing the brachial artery above, and then doesn't give any branches. These two are the important points. Then fourth, it comes to the cubital fossa. In the cubital fossa, you know, there are two structures. This is brachioradialis since it is lateral side, and okay, this is medial side. Medial side, this is pronator teres and this is brachioradialis. So pronator teres on the medial side and brachioradialis on the lateral side. This is your medial side. So the important structures present in the cubital fossa contents are M, B, B, S, that you have to mention. M for your medial nerve. So it occupies the medialmost structure in the cubital fossa. Then it enters here, and here I said this is pronator teres. There are two heads of pronator teres. So this median nerve passes between the two heads of the pronator teres in the forearm. This is another next. This is in the forearm. So this is very important point, key point. It crosses between the or passes between the two heads of pronator teres, and then next here it gives the nerve called anterior interosseous branch. So this branch is called anterior interosseous branch. It supplies all the deep muscles. What are the deep muscles? Flexor digitorum profundus and flexor pollicis longus and pronator quadratus. And flexor digitorum profundus, this supplies the lateral half. The medial half is supplied by the ulnar nerve. Then comes here, it has crossed this end, and then 5, it comes near the flexor retinaculum. Okay, so what is the relation in the flexor retinaculum? If it comes here, and then before entering into the tunnel, there is a tunnel beneath the flexor retinaculum, that is called carpal tunnel. Now what happens, this gives a branch just above that, that is called as palmar cutaneous branch. That is called palmar cutaneous branch of median nerve. The main median nerve now enters into the tunnel and it comes out, and now I will draw the next in the palm. So here the student should write beneath the flexor retinaculum it enters, that enters into the carpal tunnel. Before entering into the tunnel, it gives a branch called palmar cutaneous branch of median nerve, that is very important. So structures on the flexor retinaculum you should write from medial side to lateral side. Medially you will be having a Guyon's canal. Here there you will be having ulnar nerve and ulnar artery, and the next palmar cutaneous branch of ulnar nerve, and palmaris longus tendon and palmar cutaneous branch of median nerve. This is the order you have to write about this here. And then inside the carpal tunnel, I said this is your flexor retinaculum and these are your carpal bones. This is the tunnel. Inside that your median nerve passes between the this is medial side and this is lateral side. So this is called ulnar bursa and this is called radial bursa. So it lies between the two bursa, and the medial bursa, you have the ulnar bursa. Inside that you will be having the tendons of flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus. 4 plus 4, 8 tendons. And in the radial bursa you will be having flexor pollicis longus. So the student should mention all this stuff. And finally it enters into the palm. So palm, what happens? So in this region only the student should write about carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome, what happens, we will see next. And then next we are last in the palm. So when you draw the palm, you have to draw one middle finger, ring finger, little finger, like that. Okay, here is your thenar eminence. So what happens, there are branches which goes here and supplies the thenar branches, thenar muscles, that is your recurrent branch number 1, that after coming out of the tunnel, the first branch goes to the thenar muscles. There are 3 thenar muscles, flexor pollicis abductor pollicis brevis, flexor pollicis brevis, and opponens pollicis, okay, brevis. All the three muscles are thenar muscles, and it supplies, and then proper cutaneous branches, digital branch, that is called as digital branches. One is the muscular branch, okay, this supplies the muscle, and second is the digital branch which goes to this side and this aspect and then this aspect. These are all digital branches. And the next is common digital branch. This common digital branch, one goes and supplies this adjacent fingers and these two adjacent fingers. So totally 3.5 fingers are supplied by median nerve. 3.5 fingers are supplied by the median nerve. You have to write 3.5 fingers, and then these two lumbricals, first and second lumbrical, are supplied by the median nerve. So these are all about the median nerve supply. And here I said carpal tunnel syndrome, you have to write about thenar muscles, all this becomes atrophied. And already I have told you, before entering into the tunnel, it gives one cutaneous branch. This cutaneous branch supplies the skin over the thenar eminence, only the skin over the thenar eminence. The main branch only goes beneath the carpal tunnel and supplies 3.5 fingers. Not only 3.5 fingers, in the dorsal aspect also you should draw. Okay, we should draw the dorsal aspect. This is your nail bud. Okay, here we will draw. This is your nail bud, and this is your middle proximal phalanx, middle phalanx, and distal phalanx. Proximal, middle, and distal. Proximal, middle, and distal. Okay, here. Okay, little finger. This is little finger. So this dorsal aspect means this area. This area, entire posterior compartment is supplied by the radial nerve, but the radial nerve supplies up to this area, and here it supplies up to the middle phalanx. Here slowly you should reduce middle of the middle phalanx, and here up to the proximal phalanx, up only half. Okay, this is the area of supply of which nerve? Radial nerve. Okay, so this is, I am talking about the dorsal side, this side of the palm. So what happens? The rest of this areas, so we'll give some separate color. So these areas are supplied. These areas are supplied by your median nerve again. So these areas are supplied by median nerve. Don't forget to write about this. That's all. So again, first, there are no branches in the arm. There are no branches. Second, that main forearm in the median nerve gives main branch of median nerve. It gives branches to all the flexor compartment muscles, that are flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor pollicis, flexor digitorum superficialis, and pronator teres, and then second is flexor carpi radialis, and palmaris longus. All these muscles are supplied by the main branch of median nerve. And next comes here, and it gives one important branch, anterior interosseous nerve. So those should not forget the anterior interosseous nerve. Anterior interosseous nerve comes here and supplies all the muscles. What are the deep muscles? And then it goes here. Before entering into that, it gives a branch called palmar cutaneous branch of median nerve. So that we have written. This palmar cutaneous branch of median nerve supplies the skin over the thenar eminence. And then the arrangement in the flexor retinaculum I have told again, you earlier. And then radial bursa, ulnar bursa, between these two only median nerve is located. The median nerve may get compressed when the lunate bone gets dislocated, or in rheumatoid arthritis or myxedema, or all the different causes of carpal tunnel syndrome. And then finally we have reached this area, and this is the thenar muscle branch, and then the cutaneous branch for 3.5 fingers. Okay, 3.5, only half, 3.5 fingers, and on the dorsum also it supplies these areas. So be careful while writing the distribution in the dorsal areas. So this ring finger, it has all the three nerves. So this half, lateral half for the median nerve, only in the distal portion, and the medial half for the ulnar nerve, and the lower part for the radial nerve. So 3 nerves for the ring finger. That's all about the median nerve.